Shorty Mona Lisa, I'ma play her like I'm violent. I feel like the island, we gon' take her to the island.
All right, so everyone been talking about this Bill Belichick thing. This Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, interjects and shuts down a question during the middle of an interview on CBS. Hudson reportedly interrupted multiple times. Interviewer to Belichick, how did you guys meet? From across the room, she yelled, we're not talking about this. So, odd thing about Belichick and the girl is that he's 73, I believe. I think he's 73. And the girl's 24 years old. First, you know, when they put it up, people kind of talked about it a little bit because everyone was talking about the Shador thing. But CBS, they put out another statement, or TMZ somebody, said this. Hudson stormed out of the CBS interview at one point and expected him to follow. That's from TMZ Sports. It was TMZ who put it out. Couple went viral over the weekend when Hudson interrupted Belichick's interview. It says Hudson even interrupted and corrected the coach when he was answering questions about football. Even when a legendary coach was answering questions about football, she would stop and correct him. Hudson reportedly delayed the interview about 30 minutes at one point when she stormed out of the room. It's unclear if Belichick followed her. Girl's moving basically like she got some crazy dirt on him. You know what I'm saying? And this guy, if he would have just retired after the Patriots, he would just been remembered like on the Nick Saban level almost. You know, he got the rings with Brady. Brady's a legend. And he would have been good. I mean, now he's coaching at UNC, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just not a good look for him. Everything just looks bad all around. I don't know what happened to him. Try to play some of this clip.
The ones that I experienced directly. He's not even in the acknowledgement section. Correct.
Let's talk about Robert Kraft here, and the interviewer was saying like he didn't mention Robert Kraft in his book. And he was like, yeah, I ain't mentioned him. I never thought they fought with each other. They got like a weird relationship, so.
Do you feel like you were treated with dignity and respect when you were let go by Robert Kraft?
Yeah, well, it was a mutual decision for us to part ways.
He said fired.
It was a mutual decision.
His 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, creative muse, as he writes in his book.
And you see her coming to talk to him during the interview. She sat right there. She was interrupting him, saying, hey, we not talking about this. I think she signed to one of his businesses or something like that. It's some crazy shit. It's wild. Y'all see her in the corner right here?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like.
How did you guys meet?
Look at her face when he asked that. She was like, what the fuck? Yeah, we're not talking about this.
No.
Though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
Some great pictures of you and Jordan, where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid.
What the fuck? Yo, Bill, what the fuck is going on with you, bro?
Balancing Jordan.
Yeah, she got my dog lying down on the beach. He too old for his shit. Look at his fucking legs. As soon as they come down, his legs probably crack to half.
Honestly, don't follow him.
Yo, you know some shit bad when it has, y'all see this? It has 39,000 shares and 8,000 likes. This was the other tweet. This tweet came out 2 days ago, but I think after today, or today and last night, everybody been coming back to this tweet. He said, I know what this means to Miami. You know, in Miami, she's basically hinting at the girl potentially or allegedly be an escort. And that's what everyone's been talking about. This the tweet that got everybody talking. And this guy said, after watching the CBS Sunday morning Bill Belichick interview, it is with high confidence that his new 24-year-old girlfriend is a high-end escort. And then he gave his points as to why. He said Bill's 74 years old, a rich white man, the main clientele for sex workers. During the interview, Jordan interrupts the reporter asking, where did you meet, with demands to not answer that question. Robert Kraft got in trouble for paying off massage services for sex work. What the fuck is it with football or the NFL and fucking massage parlors? That's all I want to know. There's always some shit there. Robert and Bill were close friends. What do close rich guy friends do together? You guessed it. Bill and Robert would not engage each other anymore since Jordan Hudson relationship start. I assume the boys used to go to town together on these things and something went wrong, thus firing. Way too many sex worker personalities following her on social media, either because she's an icon to them or they know her. Bill calls her my creative muse, common language sex workers tell their loved ones to call their partners. I didn't even know. How the fuck does he know that? That's insane to know that. Who the fuck comes up with some shit like that? He said posting photos like this where the other person is not aware of photos being taken of them. A fancy meals is sex worker photography one-on-one. But if it were to come out to be true, that would be fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. For the people wondering why this is weird, Bill Belichick commanded his pro players for decades to avoid distraction, no social media. Now he's 72 years old with a 24-year-old girlfriend who he for some reason made his agent. And y'all see her on the field with the players. So you can see her on the field moving around like she's one of the coaches. Bro, a lot of eyes gonna be on UNC this year. I mean, I don't think they're gonna have you know, that good of a season. But and his players are old enough to get with her. Is what's crazy. Y'all know they be talking about this shit, and most people are committing there just the fact that he's a legend. You know, a lot of people want to play under that, but I think he done fucked up his rep.
I need everyone who said I was being judgmental about Bill Belichick's relationship to apologize, because whoa, that interview, look, it's not crazy that the interviewer is gonna ask how y'all met. I get, you know, that's a normal relationship question, sure. Or is it maybe because there's a rather large age gap and we're kind of wondering how they frequented the same area at the same time of day? Absolutely. But what's more curious, I'm like, how do y'all not have like a cover story at this point? Because it's clear that they don't want to tell the real story. Whatever. But how have you not decided, okay, this is what the story we're going with? And I think what's hard is that, like, we're used to Grumpy Bill, right? Like, that's kind of about his character. We don't know her yet, and I think what's hard is I can't really tell what's going on there. Like, it's girl boss, but also like girl possibly trying to have a conservatorship. So I'm eager to watch it develop, but it's freaking me out a bit.
I don't know. It's gonna be a distraction when football comes back for UNC. The story was that they met on a plane and he signed a copy of his book for her. I mean, it's still a little weird. It's always gonna be weird because he's 73 and she's 24. So no, it's gonna be weird as fuck. That shit is sketchy as hell. And then the fact that she was interrupting the interview like that, it makes it worse. I feel for the players because come the season, it's clips.
Clear. There was a lot of bad blood between him and Robert Kraft. He didn't mention Kraft in his book, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about that? The real thing people care about is Jordan Hudson. She is a freaking whack job. There were many times where she cut off Belichick within the interview, and CBS made it a point to show how crazy she was actually being. When they asked Belichick how he had met Hudson, she cut off the interview and said, we're not talking about it. And of course, CBS included that in the interview. That's good television. The biggest thing I could equate this to, and I've never dated somebody a million years younger than me, but it seems like Bill Belichick feels like he needs her in some capacity, or he's afraid to break up with her because she looks a little psycho. And obviously he's also getting it.
Bro, I honestly think she got some wild dirt on him. I don't see what else could make him be acting like that.
And to me, the interview made me feel a little bit sad for him, actually. When Jordan interjects and says we're not talking about this, the look on his face is like he's being held hostage, kind of frozen, and sort of just like doesn't say anything, because it clearly seems like she just has that much control over him and his presence.
He's dealt with powerful people. He
Yes.
should be able to handle the situation, but it does seem like the power dynamics in this relationship are that she holds all the cards. If you think about it, this is one of the few times that we have seen Bill alone since they started dating.
Yeah.
Or we've heard from him alone.
So true.
But he's not alone. She's there. She's like putting out the version of him that she wants the world to think exists, that we have all he's 73.
Nah, but CBS is petty as fuck for that. I mean, you know, it's just, you know, media is just about viral moments. It don't really matter, you know, who gets the short end of the stick. It's just about going viral. That was they knew exactly what they was doing. That was petty as hell. They probably were mad about how the interview went too.
Goes into the girlfriend and they put her in there, cutting it off. And then they're talking about the photos, which we've all seen. I don't know if he knew anybody else saw those photos.
I think he does. I think he was like totally blindsided by that fact.
He's like, well, he's like, I don't know who sent you though. I was literally squirming. I was like, oh my God, watching this. And then it went crazy viral. People are saying he's like being held hostage. I've met Jordan. I don't know what to say. I don't think he knows still what social media is, that these photos are like out there.
Numbers are, I mean, this, I feel like the vibe was like, yeah, people were like, the age difference is weird and it's creepy. But the vibe was kind of like, this is so wacky. This is wild. And now after that interview, it turned 180. Everyone's like, the rumors, what is she? What is he? Why don't you just have a story about where you met, by the way?
It's on a plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the coach thing.
Yeah, but like maybe you don't want that out there because it highlights that you were like a literal child doing homework. But like either say that or say you met at a fucking Patriots event, but do not go, we're not talking about this, because now it's a whole fucking thing.
The guy who conducted the interview DM me, Dan. He's like, I'll go on PMT.
Oh, all right, let's have him.
Do you want him?
Yeah. I mean, that She must have interrupted 100 times.
Yeah,
Because
to include
they don't do that on that show.
No, it's not
60 minutes.
It's not controversial. It is 100%. Those interviews are positive. They're never supposed to be like an ounce of like. That's why I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. Like I actually was saying, I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna bring up his girlfriend. I was like, I don't even think they'll mention it.
You know it's bad when Bleacher Report that UNC personnel is worried that Jordan Hudson's influence on Bill Belichick could have become a problem. Checking Hudson's recent appearance in CBS Morning interview is not sitting well with UNC. This is what everyone gonna be talking about. If they play good during the year, because he is a great coach, you know, despite this weird situation, he's a great coach. The season comes around and they're playing good, even more attention is gonna be on it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but that's what's going on there. Let me know your thoughts on this. And as always, it's your boy.